Hi, wishing you all very happy International Day for Women and Girls in STEM. So, science, technology, engineering and mathematics, where STEM is now incorporated with arts, that is STEAM. So, wishing you all for the day. And today we had a very informal conversation with coffee with our working professionals and our very own SciKnowParents. And the ladies who are doing amazing in their own fields in terms of medicine or engineers or chartered accountants, all of them contributed some lovely things related to their own journey, the challenges what they face, their formal education, and ultimately, we wound up with the whole thing with how STEAM education is so very important for our own children. Not just to have career, but also, to accomplish themselves as good human beings with good logical sense. So I think let's begin. There was something about your formal education, and also did you feel or find any challenges in choosing that particular stream?
Yeah, so pediatrics itself is a specialization itself. So you have to handle NICU and TICU when you're doing your residency. But we have seen that my colleagues and myself, when we were trying to establish ourselves in practice, we were limited by the other familiar responsibilities that we were expected to carry out in our later lives, which I would not say forced, but it was ingrained in our, it seemed that we organically selected branches which allowed us to not go for emergency, which did not require us to do nights, which did not require us to suddenly give up on our family and rush to the hospital. So we take up endocrinology, oncology, nephrology, neurology, which is more OPD based, which is more, balanced out, more scheduled, so that we can actually balance out our times for our kids, family, work, and feel professionally satisfied. So I don't think that is something that the opposite gender really needs to think when they try to establish their profession. I'm not biased, but the onus is more on women when you're trying to make a professional choice. Thank you, sir.
Being a chartered accountant, there are different fields, you go in the tribunal, you fight cases. Over there, they would expect that a male goes, and fights for us rather than a female going and fighting. And when things like incorporations are there, or trust formations are there, or maybe little bit of calculations, but more of back-end work is there, they would prefer females. But I think those were the scenarios long back. Now things have changed. Now females are equally there on the front foot.
You just take all options open. તને જે ભણવું છે, જે કરવું છે, એના માટે તને કોઈ પણ કન્સલ્ટેશનની જરૂર છે, we'll do that. પણ સ્ટડીમાં કોઈ કોમ્પ્રોમાઇઝ નહીં. એઝ અ ગર્લ, નો કોમ્પ્રોમાઇઝ ઇન યોર સ્ટડીઝ. અમે લોકો એને નાની હતી ત્યારે કહેતા આપણે એસ્ટ્રોલોજી ભણવું છે.
That suppose in my case, there was a long break in my career. So when I rejoined, all the data analysis for my research work, I had to, do with Scratch. And at that point of time, people had already started using SPSS.
Yes.
Okay, so I was using Excel before 10 years. So it was like, first I thought that, okay, first year chal jayega, Excel mein hi kaam chala lenge. But instead of that, I thought that let me, I will have to update and upgrade myself. So I started learning. And trust me, I took up one-on-one sessions, but that did not help me. And one fine day, I just thought that, okay, YouTube Baba is the best one to teach. And I started taking tutorials. I learned SPSS, and all my analysis is through that.
When I had to do my thesis for MD, or whether you have to do your undergraduate problem solving better health, you have to do the R value and the risk assessment and the odds ratio and everything. You cannot do that without SPSS. So math is indispensable.
So in my last year study, I did a lot of research on STEM in girls, and in that, the survey questions were, quite directed towards arts, that how girls are being diverted towards having careers related to arts. કે મારી દીકરીનું તો ડ્રોઈંગ બહુ જ સરસ છે, પહેલેથી એને નાનપણથી બસ આ જ ગમે છે. તો ઇઝ ઇટ લાઈક કે એવું મને નથી લાગતું કે આર્ટ્સ સારું હોય તો મેથ્સ સારું ના હોય, કે આર્ટ્સ સારું હોય તો સાયન્સ સારું ના હોય, એવું તો છે જ નહીં. પણ આપણે નાનપણથી એ તરફ બાળકોને વાળવા કોશિશ કરીએ છીએ. વોટ આર યોર વ્યૂઝ ઓન ધેટ?
My daughter is extreme level good painter, designer. એ બધા જ એપ્સ વાપરે છે. એ વિડીયોઝ બી પોતાનું ક્રાફ્ટિંગ કરવું હોય, કોઈ પણ ફંક્શન માટે વિડીયોગ્રાફી કરવું છે કે એને કોઈ કેનવા યુઝ કરીને કંઈ બી બનાવવું છે, એક્સ્ટ્રીમલી ગુડ. અમને ખબર છે કે બીજું કરિયર ઓપ્શન એના માટે છે જ, પણ અત્યારે તું ટ્રાય કર આના માટે. તને જો કોઈ ફિલ્ડ સમજમાં આવે છે તો કર, નહીં તો પછી કોમર્સ નથી, આર્ટ્સ તો એના માટે બ્યુટીફુલી પ્લાન્ડ છે કે તું આર્ટ્સમાં
Again,
જઈ
again, we also
શકે છે.
need to debunk this myth about arts and design,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
design, whether you consider, my sister's a designer, she's a visual experiential designer, right? So I've seen her working, and it requires a very heavy amount of understanding of maths and orientations, and creativity is arts,
Creativity.
but arts is something you do to express yourself, whereas design is something you do to cater to the other
People, other person.
Right. So here you're trying to make an impression on the other people. So you have to have an understanding of how it is being perceived.
એમની
And
requirements
that
સમજીને
again
એ
cannot
વસ્તુ
be
પર-
done without critical thinking and logical reasoning and understanding of orientation or 3D or how the colors are interacting, and that's physics. You have to study. So it's design is a lot of STEM. It is not just creative.
And be it any field, you take arts, you take commerce. Like today, when we are actually working in the field, we cannot work without technology. Like even if I go to work, I'm there on the computer since morning, and for that I need my technological, if I'm not adaptive to that, so I cannot upgrade myself. Like you said, you took a 6-year break, and then when you came into field, you had to learn the new technology, which was
You have to update and
You
upgrade.
have to. You are a doctor. There are so many.
And the other thing also that we need, that creativity and STEM are not mutually exclusive. In fact, they boost each other.
Yes.
In fact, they boost each other. So, in fact, in universities like Yale, you have a major called physics and philosophy. And if you look back at all the major scientists or physicists, you would see that they were very good with some sort of a music or some sort of a drawing or some sort of a painting. In fact, Da Vinci.
In fact, I would love to give my son's example that he is a pianist.
Yeah.
Okay, and because he thought that already he is playing for himself, and he makes music. So now he has opted for his accomplishing degree in computer science. But right now he is writing to different universities for masters. And trust me, they are getting back with so much positivity that we actually think alike that AI and machine learning and music could be the best combination, to express something. And that's how he has that edge over others. Because he is into music.
So when we're trying to look for papers for our students, you go and you'll find ample papers which are combining music and maths.
Yeah.
There's so many. You will find so many papers which combine music and math. In fact, when we have students who are musicians and are interested in a career in AI, there have been papers like, can humans distinguish between AI generated and human generated
music?
Yeah. So it is very, very easy to amalgamate.
This
Such
whole
things.
thing
They
comes
can't
like a
speak
circle. The whole conversation comes like a circle when you said in the beginning that, when you did your research, you saw that parents are more inclined for girls to get into fields like art, music, so even if they don't go to office, it's okay, but now what we are kind of concluding is if they are really good at something like that, they will rather be more good when it comes on the technical grounds, the STEM and that art can actually connect way more better than, if a boy
Creativity can actually give them more focus.
Yes,
on the
main
art. In
task.
fact, they can get there's this new concept about gamifying things
Yeah,
these days,
exactly.
right? You want to gamify
Yeah,
everything so
yeah.
that the learning becomes easier. So that's why the creativity comes into
And
making
Annie is
STEM more
learning like
easier.
the piano.
Yeah.
She's doing piano to just make her mind fresh, and she can back to work, back to studies.
I mean, do you really think that during your schooling or the entire tenure of your schooling, the base of mathematics, what you had, is helping you in your job today?
I absolutely agree with this fact, because when you do math, when you solve questions on your own, when you refer different reference books and do experiential learning, it helps develop common sense in the kids. So when you are in the corporate world, you need a lot of common sense, and nowadays what we have observed is it is a little uncommon in the generation that is coming. So I feel that math should be an integral part of the life, because your birth starts with numbers, that is 0, and it ends also with numbers, and the whole day is with numbers. So numbers is really important in this life.
So Nipa Ben, give us some message to our parents on this special day of International Day for Women and Girls in STEM.
Okay, so first of all, my sincere request to all the parents that please educate your kid, be it a girl or a boy, and let them study what they want, especially in the field of STEM, because nowadays you can see that girls have girls have super interest in especially maths and science. They are proving themselves as a very good mathematician, scientist. As being a part of IT, I can see that now even in all the fields, you can see that girls are playing equal role. Like I am myself playing a role of managers at my company. And if you empower girls, it will boost their confidence, it will make them independent, and it is a need of an hour in today's growing world. And also girls, as being a very sentimental person, they will also support you in future. Thank you.